Georges St-Pierre is one of the greatest mixed martial artists of all time. But even with all his greatness, he, like many other success stories, have had their fair share of humble beginnings. He was broke, downcast, and even had to deal with bullies. Keep watching this video as we'll be remembering the incredible story of UFC Hall of Fame inductee Georges St-Pierre and how he turned his childhood bully's life around. What you need to know: there is a new inductee into the UFC Hall of Fame, and Georges St-Pierre's selection is likely to be supported by the majority of fans. Three names frequently come up when discussing the greatest mixed martial artist of all time: Anderson Silva, Jon Jones, and GSP. And one of the finest mixed martial artists of all time is Georges St-Pierre. Unlike Silva and Jones, who have had their individual careers plagued by claims of misbehavior both inside and beyond the ring, St-Pierre has generally managed to stay out of the public eye. The Canadian UFC two-weight world champion, who was never charged with using performance-enhancing substances or dodging opponents, served as an inspiration to millions of people around the world. St-Pierre will join Forrest Griffin, BJ Penn, Uriah Faber, Ronda Rousey, Michael Bisping, whom he defeated for the middleweight title, and Rashad Evans as a member of the renowned Hall of Fame's Modern Wing. When Dana White called to tell him the wonderful news and reiterated the many admirable things he had accomplished in life, he was clearly speechless. GSP runs into his old bully. The newest inductee into the Hall of Fame did not have the fairy tale ascent to the top that many people envision. St-Pierre was frequently ridiculed in school long before he was raising championship belts above his head. GSP endured a significant deal of abuse from older and bigger classmates, as a friend of the legendary welterweight recalls. After defeating Michael Bisping to win the middleweight belt, GSP revealed in an interview that he had actually run into his childhood bully years earlier while passing through his native Montreal. The events that followed were astonishing. He said on the Joe Rogan Experience, "I lowered my window. This is the same kid who used to bully me in school. I asked, 'What are you doing here, man?' To which he replies, 'Things aren't going so well for me.' Man, you're a tall, attractive guy." GSP later revealed that he gave his former bully all the cash he had on him at the time, which was around $100 or so. Still speaking with his former bully, GSP said, and I quote, "When I was younger, I wanted to be like you because you were a tall man with good looks. You were full of potential." I shook his hand and said, "No problem." And he replied, "Thank you, George." But after that, I didn't hear from him again. GSP was a real inspiration. Years later, it turned out the bully visited GSP's home and went to thank the former UFC 170-pound division champion for his help and being such an inspiration. He wanted to thank the fighter for helping him succeed after their conversation on the street that motivated him to find a real job and organize his life. The mission of the St-Pierre's Foundation is to assist young people combat bullying and encourage physical activity in schools. He offers a lot of valuable advice for those who have been bullied on his website. 7 life lessons from GSP on building confidence and overcoming adversity. Here are 7 life lessons which GSP believes can help anyone overcome adversity. Number 1. Being confident is a mental state. According to GSP, confidence is not a quality that is innate. It's up to you. It's a condition of mind. Like a muscle, it becomes stronger the more you use it. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman philosopher and king, mirrored these ideas when he wrote in his books, "If you are tormented by outward things, it is not that they disturb you, but your own perception of them. And you have the authority to reverse that judgment right now. The hurt is eradicated when the notion, 'I'm hurt,' is eliminated." The more often you put yourself in difficult or uncomfortable situations, whether it's getting up early, public speaking, taking a cold shower, stand-up comedy, doing CrossFit exercises, or entering the UFC cage, the easier they will become over time. Similar to a habit, developing confidence requires daily effort in order to become your default state. Number 2. Success equals confidence plus skill. You've probably heard the adage that 90% of athletic performance is mental and 10% is physical. The BJJ practitioner John Danaher, who is New Zealand born, is quoted by GSP as saying that to succeed in the fight game, you need confidence plus skill. According to him, skill without confidence is like having a lot of money in the bank but not being able to spend it, while confidence without skill is like seeing your goals way up high but not having a ladder to reach them. As the Beastie Boys sang, make sure you have the confidence to make the most of your skills in addition to having the ability to support yourself. Number 3. Utilize affirmations of success. The James Lang theory of emotion, developed by psychologist William James and physiologist Carl Lang, holds that feelings are the result of bodily responses to experiences. GSP is a fan of this theory. My thesis, on the other hand, is that the bodily changes follow directly the perception of the exciting fact, and that our feeling of the same changes as they occur is the emotion. William James said, GSP, who holds the belief that the mind can affect how the body functions, tells the tale of pumping himself up before a fight with Michael Bisping for the world middleweight title. by looking into the mirror and telling himself affirmations like, I am better than him, I am the best fighter in the world, I have better training partners, I had a better training camp, and similar phrases. Number 4. Make new challenges to keep your enthusiasm and energy high. Our dopamine receptors are frequently extremely active when we first start something. Whether it's a new business or personal engagement, to keep us moving forward, they eventually become blunted and need to be exposed to X more frequently or intensely. X can be any endeavor, activity, drug, person, or achievement. Many people might assume that GSP's motivation to carry on and compete at the highest level may start to wane after he successfully defended his welterweight world title 9 times in a row. He did take a break from the sport for a spell, but he returned after a 4-year absence, moved up a division, and defeated Michael Bisping to win the middleweight title in late 2017. Focus on new challenges, advises GSP, to stay focused and maintain the vigor and enthusiasm necessary to remain at the top of your game. Each opponent he faces is unique, necessitating that he adapt his preparation and add new tools to his arsenal in order to defeat them. Number 5. Tell the world about your goals. In 1993, when GSP was just 12 years old, he recalls watching the first UFC event on his couch with 4 close friends and told them that he would one day be the champion. They immediately started to roll about the floor and laugh, stating that nothing would happen to the diminutive, frail GSP, who was presently being beaten up by bullies at school. GSP was driven by the desire to disprove them, and the rest is history. Number 6. Don't undervalue your adversary. GSP wanted to defend his championship against Matt Serra in 2007 after winning it. Serra was an underdog opponent and had plus 850 betting odds going into the title match. GSP acknowledged that he wasn't as mentally or physically prepared as he should have been for the fight. He didn't realize this, however, until he was called to the octagon with a knock on his door and the command, GSP, are you ready? The martial arts community was shocked when GSP abruptly lost the bout to Matt Serra by knockout in the first round. Number 7. Put your ego to rest. GSP claims that after being knocked to the ground during his battle with Serra, his ego seized control. I wanted to jump back up to show him as soon as I was knocked down, said the fallen champion. Unfortunately, he jumped back up right after being knocked down, which caused his accuracy to be off while Matt Serra's wasn't. This immediately led to GSP being knocked down again and giving the belt, albeit temporarily, to Serra. The best course of action, according to GSP, would have been to lay down, pull guard, a ground grappling position in which one combatant has their back to the ground while trying to control the other opponent with their legs, and recover from the knockout. He would be in a better position to defeat Serra if he could then behave rationally rather than out of a bruised ego. So guys, what do you think about Georges St-Pierre? Greatest UFC fighter of all time or not? Let us know in the comment section. And if you enjoyed watching the video, kindly like and share it so your friends can watch it too. And last but not least, subscribe to the channel and tap the notification bell to keep getting more interesting content like this. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.